name's Christy. Thanks for joining me for this virtual pole lesson. This is obviously going to be a little different from our in-person lessons because I'm not going to be there to give you direct feedback. So if you have questions on anything or if you have any feedback or comments, please DM me on Instagram. My handle is at a_girl_and_her_familiar. So that's just a girl and her familiar with underscores in between all of the words. Everything's lowercase. So if you have any questions, if you want me to go into something in even more detail than I do here, please just DM me. So the way how class is going to go today is I'm going to do a pretty intensive mat warm-up. If you're feeling anything like I'm feeling, I've been feeling very cooped up and I feel like I haven't been able to move my body and like maybe I'm losing some muscle tone. So I'm going to do a pretty heavily conditioning mat warm-up so that we can all keep our muscles up and moving, but we're going to stay pretty much confined to the mat. So if you don't have a lot of space, you should still be able to do all of these warm-ups. So we're going to do a warm-up, and then I'm going to teach you some of my favorite beginner combos. I'll start by breaking down each individual move, and then we'll work on the transitions to threading them all together. So that should be pretty fun. But yeah, let's get going. All right, let's start by getting our blood pumping. We're going to do about 50 jumping jacks. So I'm not going to play music during this lesson because I feel like it'll probably be too hard to hear me. So if you've got some music that you want to play to pump you up, or if you just want to like hang out with me music free for right now, that's cool too. But just so you know, there will be no music to keep time, so just try to keep time with me. So let's do 50 jumping jacks. Keep breathing. Get some height if you can. We're halfway there. Keep breathing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whew. Blood pumping? All right, good. Okay, next we're going to be doing a series of 30-second planks. We're going to do a regular plank, and then we're going to do a side plank on each side. We're going to be doing these for 30 seconds each. Now, before we get into a plank, I want to talk about good form, and specifically I want to talk about having a nice engaged core and having a flat back. So, if you have a mirror, or if you've got like a video of yourself that you can take to look to check your form, I would definitely recommend that. What I mean when I say flat back is, I'm going to turn to the side so you can see. So my back is flat. Specifically, my lower back is not arched, nor is it rounded in. I've got this nice flat back between my tailbone going up into my spine. And how I'm achieving that is that I'm pulling my belly button in towards my spine. I'm also lifting my chest and making sure my shoulders are back. So I'm not hunched over like this, and I'm also not arching in my upper back, right? I've got this nice flat back, keeping my belly button pulled in and my chest up, shoulders back. So when we are in our plank position, I want you guys to really be focused on keeping that nice flat back. This is going to ensure that you're engaged in your whole core and that you're maintaining good form so that you don't get injured. A flat back is also really important for when we get into stretching. So just keep this in mind. It's a super foundational thing to have, so please work on it. So we're going to be doing our front plank first for 30 seconds. And what we're going to be doing with that is I would like our hands to be directly underneath our shoulders. That's important. Now, if you have a delicate wrist, or if you have like a wrist injury or something, it's totally okay to go down onto your forearms. That's perfectly fine. But for everyone else, I want you up here with your arms directly underneath your shoulders. So, with depending on our strength level right now, I would like you to either be fully up on your toes, but if that is a little bit of a stretch for you right now, it's okay to drop to your knees, but make sure that you're still keeping a lot of weight on the front of your hands, so in the front of your body. Like we're not pulled back like this, right? We're here. So, we're gonna go for 30 seconds on my count. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, up. Nice flat back. Check your form if you can. Make sure you've got a nice plank position going on. Keep breathing. We're halfway there. Keep breathing. Keep these hips up. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on out. Excellent. Let's take a breath, and then we're going to go over to our sides. I like to fold my mat over on my side plank because I really like to do side planks on my forearm. And the folded mat just gives me a little extra cushion for my elbow. So your feet, when you go to do this, can either be stacked on top of each other like this, or you can place a foot in front of you to help with balance if you want. It's your choice, whatever you want to do. Your arms, your top arm can be on your hip, or you can hold it out, whatever feels good for you. The important part with this plank is to make sure that we are still keeping our cores engaged and that our hips are up. We're not letting them sag down towards the floor, right? So we're pulling that hip up, pressing through our forearm or through our hand, and we're keeping engaged and breathing the whole time. So let's get into this position on my count. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, up. See how my hips are nice and up? That's where I want you to be. Keep breathing. Halfway there. Keep breathing. Keep these hips up. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on down. Excellent. Let's do the other side. On my count, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, up. Keep these hips up. Keep that core engaged. Keep breathing. Breathing is key. We're halfway there. Make sure your hips are up. Do a little hip check. Make sure you're not sagging. And keep breathing. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on down. Great job. Okay, let's do some bridges. For these, we're going to lie on our backs along the mat. Our hands are going to be down at our butts, just palm face down. Our feet are going to be planted securely on the ground. I don't want your ankles touching your butt, right? That's cheating. Let's spread these out a little bit more. You kind of want to make an equilateral triangle between your thigh, your calf, and the floor. That's how you know you're out a good distance. This is going to be really good for our hamstrings as well as our core. So what we're gonna do is we are going to, on my count, we are going to lift our pelvises up towards the ceiling like this, as high as we can. So for these, we're gonna do 8 with both legs on the ground. On our 8th one, we're gonna hold it, and we're going to lift a leg into the air. We're gonna do 8 with that leg. On the 8th one, we'll hold it up. We'll put that leg down, put the other leg up, and do 8 more. So, these are gonna be tough, but they're gonna be good. Let's get going. And up, down, 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 up, hold. Let's take our right legs up, make sure those toes are pointed, hold, down, and up, down, 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 up, hold. Let's switch. Left leg up, lift those pelvises up even higher. Bring them down and up, down, 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 up, hold, pelvis is even higher. Let's put that foot back down on the ground, pelvis up even higher. Take a breath here, and bring it down. Excellent. Let's keep our cores warm. Let's keep going. We're gonna stay on our backs, palms down, feet out in front of us. We're gonna flex our feet, bring one foot up, and here we're gonna do some leg switches. Now, by leg switches, our bottom leg is gonna hover off the mat, so we're not placing it on the mat, we're hovering it up like this, and we are going to switch the positions. For this, the lower you are that you make your switch, the harder it's gonna be. So you decide how hard you want it to be. And let's do about 20 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Good job. Next, let's go, now that we've given our arms a break from the planks, we're gonna go back to doing some arm conditioning. Specifically, we're gonna be focusing on our shoulders for this. So shoulder stability and strength is really important for pole dancing, so this is a super good conditioning exercise that you can do as many times as you want to keep your shoulders in good health. Now what we're going to do is we're going to be doing shoulder presses, also known as scapular push-ups. Essentially we're going to be doing a push-up, but our arms are going to be straight. Now in order to do that, we are going to be bringing our shoulder blades together and then pushing them apart. Every part of this move is controlled. We're never unengaging in our shoulders. Like we're never going to be here and then just like sinking in our shoulders, right? That's really dangerous. We're going to be engaged, slowly pulling our shoulder blades together and pushing them apart the whole time. I'm going to turn around and kind of show you what I mean with the shoulder blades. So watch my shoulder blades. I'm going to be pulling them together and then I'm going to be pressing them apart. Yeah, so we're going to be in our plank positions. Again, keeping that engaged core, we want that belly button pulled in towards our spine, nice flat back, shoulders back. So for these, we're going to start in that plank position. We're going to keep our arms straight. Our hands are going to be right underneath our shoulders. These can also be done in your forearms if you've got wrist issues, like that's totally okay because all the work is happening on our shoulder blades. So let's do 5 of these. So let's get into our plank position, and when you're ready, we're going to bring our shoulder blades together and press them apart. Notice how I'm not sinking in my hips and I'm not unengaging my core, right? I'm engaged everything the whole time. So let's do 5, These are fantastic, and if you feel like that was easy, do 5 more. You can never do too many of these. All right, next, let's lie on our sides. So for this, we're going to be doing some side kicks to kind of get our muscles and our legs warmed up. You can put your arm out here, bring it long, and you can rest your head on your arm if you want. You can prop it up, whatever feels good. Let's take our top arm and press it onto the mat in front of us for stability. Now for these, I want us to focus on turning our top leg out. Now what that means is right now I'm parallel, so you can see the tops of my feet and my knees are pointed straight at you. To turn out, I will be going into my hip, rotating and turning the top of my foot and the top of my knee to the ceiling. You can kind of have to squeeze your glutes a little bit to get this rotation and really feel it in your inner thigh. From here, we are going to be doing big kicks up with lots of momentum and slowly lower them back down, right? So we want this like nice explosive energy and then a slow back down. Let's do 20 of these. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, keep breathing, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Nice. Good job. Let's do the other side. Make sure we're turned out. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Excellent. Now let's work on getting our inner thighs nice and warmed up. Again, we're going to lie down on our sides. Your head can either be here or here, whatever feels good. Again, top hand in front of you to keep you balanced. We're going to take our top leg and we're going to bring it up towards our elbow and then drop it onto the ground. So we've got this nice stability with this leg and this arm. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to be engaging our inner thigh on the straight leg, and we're going to be lifting this leg up towards the ceiling. Let's do 20 of these as well. Remember to keep breathing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Other side. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Good job, everyone. office for quite a while and not quite able to make it to the studio, Teddy Tucks are really great for building your deep core muscles and prepping you to be able to actually start inverting. It's all the same muscles. So let's start by standing next to the pole. Let's wrap our arm around the pole, getting as much like armpit contact as we can. With our inside hand, we're going to grab just at our shoulder. Outside hand is going to come above that. If you can, look at yourself in the mirror or some kind of video to make sure that your hands aren't creeping up over your eyebrows. If your hands go over your eyebrows, it's time to reset. We really want these to be down low, hands below our eyebrows. From here, we're going to walk our hips in front of the pole as far as we can so that we have full contact, the pole and a butt cheek. From here, we're going to squeeze our elbows together and we are going to lift our knees to our elbows while keeping our legs together. So I'm going to take a deep breath in, squeeze my elbows, and on my exhale, lift the knees. Now let's do 3 of these, 3 to 5, depending on your level on each side. So let's start. Keep breathing. Nice. Let's do the other side. 3 to 5. Oh, I didn't put my feet down, but if you need to put your feet down in between each set, that's okay, but the goal is to not put your feet down. So again, we're gonna wrap our armpit around the pole, grab just above our, just like pretty much at our shoulder. Our outside hand comes above that one, making sure we're not creeping up above our eyebrows. And walk our hips in front of the pole. Squeeze our elbows together, take a deep breath in, and let's go. Nice. If you have a high enough ceiling, feel free to do it in a couple climbs right here. But if you're like you don't really have a ceiling, it's okay. So do a couple climbs if you want, and we'll come back and start the class. So the first thing I want to teach you is a wrist roll pirouette. Now it's called a wrist roll pirouette because we're literally rolling over our wrists while we're doing this. So let's start standing next to the pole, maybe about a foot away from it. We're going to take our inside hand, bring it up high, and let's just work on the mechanics of this top hand because that's kind of the most important part. What we're going to do is we're going to start to turn in towards our armpit, and as we turn, we're going to get to a point where our grip is not going to allow us to turn any further. Once we get there, we're going to take our thumb and we are going to slide it behind the pole so that it's on the same side of the pole as the rest of our fingers. From here, we're going to open our fingers up and roll the back of our palm against the pole. So we're going to roll and keep turning, rolling, keeping that contact constantly with the pole. Once we get all the way around again, we can re-grab. So this re-grip is really important. Make sure you're always doing that. So let's do this just a couple times to get it in our body. So we're going to start rotating our bodies. We get to the point where we can't turn anymore. Our thumb slips to behind the pole. We open our hand and roll the back of our hand and our wrist on the pole. Re-grab. Let's do this a couple times. Re-grab. Excellent. So from here, let's add in the other hand. The job of the other hand is going to be to push us against, the pole to whip our bodies around. So this is going to be providing us most of our momentum to complete our pirouette. So we're going to take our hand, we're going to cross our bodies, rotate our palm so that our pinky is pointed towards the ceiling and our thumb is down towards the floor. We've got this big open palm here, and we're going to place it on the pole. I like to kind of aim for the back of the pole. So we're going to place it on the pole, and I'm slipping that thumb from my top hand around so I can open up my hand. And as I open up my hand and roll it over my wrist, my top hand, I'm going to push with my bottom hand to get me around. So let's try doing these together. So we're going to reach across, open that palm, push, re-grab. Let's work on these together a couple of times. Nice. From here, we can start to get our legs involved. Now, if we're standing at a pole, I've got my right hand up high, so if I imagine a clock face on the floor with the pole being in the center, I'm kind of in 9 o'clock position. From here, I'm going to take my outside leg and I'm going to step into a 12 o'clock position, making sure that I keep the same distance away from the pole that I already am. So if I'm a foot away from the pole, I want to make sure when I step to 12 o'clock that I'm also a foot away from the pole. This is going to make sure that I have enough distance between the pole and my body to fully pirouette. If you're too close to the pole, you might hit the pole with your inside leg that comes up into this passe position. So make sure you're giving yourself enough clearance. We're going to step with our outside leg to that 12 o'clock position, and with my inside leg, I'm going to push off of it so that I put all my weight on this outside leg. I'm going to push off of it and come into this passe position. So what I mean by passe is that our inside leg is going to be bent, and the inside, like the instep of our foot is going to be glued to our thigh, right? The higher you can get it, the better. If you're here, that's okay, but if you can lift it up a little higher, it'll look even better. So, inside hand high, we're going to step with our outside leg, step to 12 o'clock, push up into this passe position. This is the position that we are going to be in for our pirouette. And the way how we're going to get there is by pushing with our other hand. So what we're going to do is we're going to, as we step, I'm going to take my outside hand and cross it to make sure that I've got that contact with the pole to push me around. So this is what it's going to look like. I'm going to step, I'm going to cross, I'm going to bring it to passe, I'm going to push myself around. Yeah? Let's try that again. Step outside, cross that outside arm, bring it to the pole, and push. Yeah, let's try this a couple times. Yeah? If this starts to feel good, we can travel around the pole doing this. So we're always pirouetting on our outside leg, remember that. We're always bringing our inside leg up into a passe. So we're going to step outside, pirouette. Notice how I'm re-grabbing with my top hand. That re-grab is very important. I'm going to take my passe leg, I'm going to step it down onto the ground, and then I'm able to start my pirouette again. So with my outside leg, I'm going to step, cross my outside arm, pirouette. Inside leg goes down, outside leg steps, pirouette. Let's see if we can go around the pole. So, re-grabbing, super important. When you do this, I'd like you to practice keeping this passe leg up and not putting it down until you're ready. I want this step to be really intentional. I don't want you to be falling out of the pirouette and catching yourself with your inside leg. I want you to be up intentionally and then down intentionally. So keep your weight over this standing leg. Let's try this on the other side. It's the same thing. Let's start with our top hand first. We're going to turn towards our armpit, slide that thumb under, open our hand to roll the backs of our hands and our wrists on the pole, re-grab. Let's do this a couple times to just feel it in our bodies. Once that starts to feel good, we can bring our outside arm into it. So again, we're going to cross low, crossing over our bodies. We're going to turn our palm so that our pinkies are towards the ceiling and our thumbs are down towards the floor. And we're going to grab or just kind of place against the back of the pole. This is going to allow us to push Once that starts to feel good, we can get our feet involved. If we're looking down at the floor and imagining our clock face, because we're on the other side, we're now in the 3 o'clock position, but we're still going to be stepping to 12 o'clock. So if I'm a foot away from the pole, when I step with my outside leg to 12 o'clock, I'm stepping also a foot away from the pole, making sure I'm giving enough distance between the pole and my body to get that passe leg through. So we're going to step, put all of our weight onto that outside leg, up into this passe position, yeah? As we step, we're going to step and cross our arm across our body at the same time to put us into this position. So once we feel good with that, we're going to step, cross with our arm, and push. Let's try that again, a little bit faster. So step, push. Step, push. Yeah, let's see if we can start going around the pole like we did with our other side. It's the exact same thing. We're going to be stepping, pushing, keeping all of our weight on the outside leg, and then putting this leg down when we want to. We're not falling out of it, right? We're stepping intentionally. So let's try to go around the pole. Oop, I just fell out. Left side's harder. Practice that a couple times. So the next move I'm going to teach you guys is a spin, and it's called a front hook spin. It's called that because we're moving forward, right? We're going front. And it's the hook because we're going to be hooking our inside leg. So when we do this, there's a couple of things to keep in mind. The most important thing is our position while we're in the spin. So I'd like you all to get on your knees, if you can, and stand straight up like this. We're not sinking back and sitting on our heels. We're up, and we're actually going to take our pelvises and we're going to push them as far forward as we possibly can. This is the position that we should be in when we're in the spin. The most important part is really keeping this pelvis forward. We're going to, I imagine my hip bones are kind of like headlights, and I've got lights shooting out of them, and I'm pushing them as far forward as I can. So we're going to be pushing far forward. This position is going to allow us to stay hooked in our knee. As soon as we start to sit back, we are going to lose the contact with our inner knee grip, and we're going to fall out of it. So this is the most important part of it. To start, we're going to be starting just like our pirouettes that we just did. We're going to be on one side of the pole, either at 9 o'clock or 3 o'clock. I'm at 9 o'clock right now. Inside hand high, and I'm going to take my inside leg, and I'm actually going to put all my weight on my outside leg. So lift up your inside leg, make sure you've got all your weight on your outside leg. I'm going to straighten my leg and cross it across my body. So I'm going to go from one corner of the room to the other corner of the room. So I'm making this big swooping motion from going from one corner to the other corner. So when I'm this big swooping motion, this is going to be our momentum. So if you've ever done any kind of other spin before, like a firefighter or something like that, you know that whipping that leg is going to get you as much momentum as you can. This sweep across our body, this is our momentum, and so we want to really whip it. Get as much momentum as we can going. So when we do that, we're going to go here to there, and you'll notice at some point your leg is going to hit the pole. That's exactly what you want. Once you feel the metal contact the back of your knee, you're going to snap that knee shut. So we're going to be really pulling our heels towards our butts. So this motion, this swooping and snapping motion, is going to lift us off of our standing leg. And with our standing leg, all we do is just bring our heel to our butt, mimicking the other one. The leg just kind of stays out. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. So inside hand up high, I'm about a foot away from the pole. I'm going to put all my weight on my outside leg, take my inside outside leg, swoop it from one corner to the other, snap it once I feel contact, and really pushing those hips forward. So, you'll notice I landed on my knees, but that's because I was going very slow and I was very controlled in this. I don't want you slamming on your knees, right? So the way how we can make sure that we're not slamming on our knees is that after we get a rotation or two around and we feel that we're like sinking towards the ground, we can bring our knees together and kind of slide over and land on the outside of our thigh. So we're landing on like nice muscle instead of on bone, yeah? So I'm gonna show you what that looks like. So inside hand high, always making sure that the shoulder is engaged while we're doing this. We don't want to be hanging in any spins, right? That's right for shoulder injury. So inside hand high, weight on my outside leg, taking my inside leg, swooping from one corner to the other. I'm snapping, hips forward, and I'm going to bring my knees together to land on the outside of my thigh. Let's try that again. Making sure that our hips are forward. If you find that you are slipping out of that knee pit before you are intentionally bringing your knees together to land on your side, and that means you're not pushing your hips forward enough. Remember, we are in this position during our spin, not this position, yeah? Let's try it again, inside hand high, shoulder engaged. Let's whip, hips forward, 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 and bring those arms together, or legs together rather, to land on our sides. Let's do it on this side one more time. Hips forward, knees together. So notice as soon as I put my knees together, I slide out of that hole, which is why it's so important to keep our hips forward, right? Like I slid out of my pole here intentionally because I'm trying to land, but if you're trying to stay up in that spin, you want the pole to be in your knee pit, so push those hips forward. Let's try it on the other side. So we're in our 3 o'clock position now. We're about a foot away from the pole. Inside hand high, keeping that shoulder engaged. I'm going to put all my weight on my outside leg. I'm going to take my inside leg, cross my body to one corner of the room, and I'm going to swoop it to the other corner. As soon as I make contact with the pole, I'm going to snap my heel towards my butt to close this knee pit, so I got this nice knee pit grip. When I get lifted off this standing leg from all that momentum, I'm just going to bring this leg up like that. Remember, hips forward. So let's try it. Hips forward. Bring your knees together to land. Yeah? Let's try it again. Outside leg or inside leg crosses, swoops, hips forward. Knees together to land. I keep landing on my back to you guys. I'm going to try to land facing you next time. One more time. Let's do this. Hips forward. Oop, almost. There we go. Okay, now that we know how to do a wrist roll pirouette and we know how to do a front hook, let's thread these together. So remember when we were talking about the wrist roll pirouette, how I really emphasized re-grabbing the pole when we're finished with our pirouette? That's going to be super, super, super important for this. So let's practice just doing one pirouette and really grabbing that pole. Great. So notice how I also stayed up on my standing leg, right? I didn't come out of it. I'm here. That's also going to be important for threading these together. So let's try that again. And I want you to practice pausing in that pirouette position with your hand re-gripped, making sure that your balance is over this standing leg. So let's try that one more time. Inside hand high, let's step, pirouette, and stay here. Excellent. So when we're in this position, it's very similar to this position that we're using to get into our front hook, right? So that's exactly what we're going to be doing. We're landing in this pirouette, and from here, we're going to take our leg, we're going to extend it across our body from one corner, and we're going to swoop it to the next. into our front hook. So the key for this is to make sure we're really re-grabbing with this top hand and that we're staying up in this passe position and not falling out of it. So we're going to be going straight from this passe position into this front hook position. So I'm going to start back here so that you can kind of get a good view of everything. But so we're going to step with our outside leg. Let's do this pirouette. We're going to step, pirouette. I'm staying up. I'm swooping my leg into my front hook. Yeah? Let's try that together. Yeah. Excellent. So you can see how we can, by being in control of our balance and making sure that we're re-gripping, that we can seamlessly go from a pirouette to a spin. Let's try the other side. So again, inside hand high. We're going to practice re-grabbing with that hand and staying balanced on our outside leg. Yeah? Let's do that one more time. Actually, you know what? Let's do it one more time. So, putting all of so we're going to step onto our outside leg, right? So outside leg, pirouette, re-grab, stay up in this passe position. From here, we are going to be in our passe position. We're going to take this leg, we're going to extend it across our body, swoop it to make contact with the pole, just like in our front hook. So again, I'm going to stay back here so you can see the whole thing. I'm going to step, turn, and front hook. Yeah, let's try that one more time. Nice. Okay, the next move we're going to be learning is called back hook or reverse hook. It's called that because we are going backwards in this spin, and just like the front hook, we're hooking a leg. So this is a spin that's going to require some trust in yourself because it's essentially a controlled fall, right? So we're going to be using gravity to help get us around. So gravity is going to really help with our momentum, and we're going to really like lean into that gravity and like go into that fall to get us going around. So we're going to start just like we started the wrist roll pirouette and just like we started our front hook by grabbing the pole with our inside hand up high, shoulder engaged. From here, we are going to, just like our wrist roll pirouette, we are going to step with our outside leg. So if I'm in my 9 o'clock position, I'm going to step into that 12 o'clock position. From here, I'm going to take my outside hand and I'm going to grab the pole pretty much at like chest height. So I'm going to step with my outside leg, grab the pole. My inside leg is going to push off, and I'm going to put all my weight on my outside leg. As I do that, I'm going to pivot my body around so that my high hand is now my outside hand, and my low hand is now my inside hand. So we start with this, our high hand being inside, and we end with it being on the outside. So from here, we're going to step this pivot. When we push off of our standing leg, that leg is going to whip around. And it's going to start, you can see how I can start falling there. That whip around is also going to help with our momentum. Now, I mentioned trust before, and here's where the trust comes in. Do not snap this inside leg closed until you make contact with the back of your knee and the pole. If you try to snap it closed before that happens, you're going to end up missing your knee pit entirely, and it's not going to work. So what you're going to do is you're going to fall. You're going to fall, and you're going to fall, 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 then snap once you've made contact with the back of your knee and the pole. So once we snap, again, we're going to be in this position with our hips forward, just like we were in front hook. I'm going to show you what that looks like all together. Inside hand high, stepping outside, grabbing the pole, pivot, fall, 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 then snap. And notice how I gently lowered myself down onto my knees. I don't want any of you smashing your knees into the ground, right? Where it's going to be a gentle, controlled lower. Yeah? So, let's try that again. Inside hand high, stepping outside, grabbing with my outside hand, pivot, fall, 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 snap. Yeah? Let's try the other side. So, I'm in my 3 o'clock position now. Inside hand high. I'm going to step with my outside leg to the 12 o'clock position. I'm going to reach across my body about chest height, grab the pole. I'm going to push off of my inside leg and start to pivot my body around. From here, I'm going to fall, 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 snap. Yeah? Let's try again with some momentum. Inside hand high, step, and snap. Notice how I'm waiting until the very last minute to snap, right? I'm allowing gravity and the width of my leg to give me momentum as I'm falling, 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 and then at the very last minute, snapping that knee closed. Let's try it again. Yeah? Excellent. Now let's try threading our front hook to our back hook. This is a really fun one. It's a really dynamic move because we're going forward and then we're falling back, and we can make it really, really dramatic. And the reason why we can thread these together is because we're starting out in this inside hand high position on both of them. So there's going to be a moment when we're probably going to want to re-grip this high hand. So make sure that we're actually doing that. I will point it out. And so what we're going to do is we're going to start doing a front hook, but instead of going all the way down to the ground, we're just going to do one rotation around the pole, and we're going to land on our feet instead of on our thighs. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. So again, inside hand high, making sure the shoulder is engaged, weight on my outside leg. I'm going to draw across, one rotation, and I'm going to get to my feet. So it's the exact same mechanism as when we're like putting our knees together to lie on our thighs, but we're putting our knees together and propping our feet down because we're not near the floor, right? You want to make sure that you do this after only one rotation, because any more than that you might be too down to the floor to actually get your feet underneath you. So let's try that again. Hips forward, knees together to bring our feet to the ground. From here, we're going to come up, take our inside hand, re-grip high, re-grip with our low hand, and now I'm going to pivot onto my outside leg. Pivot, pivot, fall, 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 snap. Yeah? Let's try that again. So, front hook. I'm going to reset my hands and keep falling. The key to this one is to keep your momentum going, right? I'm pausing so that you can kind of see the transition, but once this starts to feel good, then you can just kind of like whip from one to the other. And I'm going to show you what that looks like when it's faster. So whipping, transitioning. Yeah? Let's try the other side. It's the exact same thing. I'm going to do my front hook, but I'm going to bring my knees together to bring my feet to the floor before I get too low. So front hook, knees together, I'm on my feet, stand up, re-grip, and fall. Yeah? Let's do it again. Front hook, knees together, reset, whip. to a front hook, and we know we can do front hook to back hook. Let's thread all three of these together. So we're going to start with a pirouette. So let's do our pirouette. Stay up high, front hook. Bring our knees together to stand. Re-gripping, falling, 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 into back hook. Yeah? Let's try it again. Wrist roll pirouette. Front hook. Knees together. Reset. And fall. Nice. Let's try to do that again, but I've been pausing in between so you can see my transitions. Let's try to take the momentum and just keep it going, right? Like no pausing. Let's just go through. So this might be a little fast. That's okay. Try to keep the momentum going. Don't try to stop your body from twisting because it's doing what it wants to do, right? Excellent. Let's do that one more time, but instead of stopping, let's add some floor work to it. So let's do our wrist roll pirouette, front hook, back hook. Let's do a big dramatic layback, and we can come down to the floor. Let's kind of do a nosedive, right? So I'm going down, chest first, booty last. From here, on my stomach, right now your legs should be on either side of the pole. Let's get them both on the same side of the pole. We're gonna do a little scorpion leg to do that. We're gonna take our back leg, the leg that's farthest away from our audience or our mirror, and we're going to lift it up and bring it over to the same side of the pole as our other leg. From here, let's put our hands directly underneath our shoulders and push our booties up. We can do cute little butt taps here if we want, or we can keep going. Push up, butt, head stays low, and then the head comes up. From here, we're going to be in a really good position to do our basic stand. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all my weight on my front or audience side leg. Right, I'm going to shift my weight over there. I'm going to grab the pole for balance. And from here, this is going to allow me to lift my back leg up and put all my weight on the ball of my foot. From here, I'm going to transition my weight over to the ball of that foot, like I'm kind of sitting on my ankle, on my back ankle. That's going to allow me to lift this leg up. So I'm here in this kind of nice, comfortable squat position. If you want to do a couple little little booty flicks, you can do cute little bounces here. If you want, you can do a dramatic head roll, you know, smooth, like swirl your body around, whatever you want to do, whatever feels good for you. When you're ready to stand, we're going to drop our head, butts up. So head down, butt up, head comes up last. And now we're back to standing again. So let's try this all together. We're going to do our wrist roll pirouette to our front hook, to our back hook. Then we're going to do a big dramatic layback on the floor, slide out, do a little scorpion tail, a little speed bump, and a basic stand. So here we go. Pirouette, front hook, back hook, and let's do a big dramatic arch. Come up, dive down, onto our bellies. Let's take this back leg up into a scorpion, push up, little booty bounces, keep going. Let's do our basic stand, do whatever you want here.